Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this Bolero Shrug. This pattern is a 2-row repeat pattern. I'm going to show you how to do all the stitches. So this is pretty much a beginner tutorial. The pattern is also made to measure, which means you can make it any size you want. Doesn't matter what yarn you're using. Your yarn could be thicker or thinner than mine. It doesn't matter. This is the yarn I'm going to use. It's mohair. It calls for a 2mm crochet hook, but I'll size it up to a 4mm crochet hook. First, you're going to measure your arm circumference near your shoulder. So you can use a tape measure, but if you don't have one, you can make a chain that fits around your arm like that. So to make a chain, we're going to start with a slip knot. I make my slip knot like this, but you can make it your way. Pull this through and tighten it. And then insert your hook, yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook. That's chain 1, chain 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you have a tape measure, you're going to wrap this around your arm. My measurement is about 12 inches, which is about 30 centimeters. So once you get that measurement, you're going to make a chain that slightly stretches to 12 inches. So like this. If you don't have a tape measure, you're just going to make a chain. And when you measure your arm, make sure you don't measure it loosely like this. You're going to make it a bit tighter. So not like that. You're going to stretch it a bit like that. And there is how many chains you need to do. I'm just measuring my wrist so you can see how it's done, but you're going to measure your upper arm near your shoulder. Okay, so for me, this length now, this can be wrapped around my arm tightly like that. Okay, so 12 inches for me. And if you're curious about my chain number, it is 38 chains. But that number doesn't really matter here. What matters is the measurement, which is 12 inches for me. Because of the pattern we're going to use, we also need to make sure the chain number is an odd number. So now I have 38. I'm going to chain one more to make it 39. So it is an odd number. So if you have an even number like me, you're going to chain one more to make it an odd number. Then we're going to begin row 1. The first stitch is a double crochet. Instead of chain 2, I'm going to show you a better way to make the double crochet. With this way, the edge of your double crochet row will look better. So this is the foundation chain, right? Now, to make the first double crochet, I'm going to chain 1. And then go back in that stitch. So chain 1, and then go in the chain before that, which is the second chain from the hook. 1, 2. So you're just going to insert your hook in that chain, in the second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull it up. Now 2 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through 2. So this is like a single crochet. If you already know a single crochet, this shouldn't be a problem. Okay, now you see we have 2 vertical loops. I'm going to make another single crochet in the left vertical loop. So that means I'm only going to insert in the left loop. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull it through 1 loop only. Like that. and then you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, that is the first double crochet. Now I'm going to place a stitch marker in that stitch. I'm going to place it in these 2 loops. So like that. Okay, so as you can see, that's the chain we just worked into. From the very next chain, we're going to make normal double crochets. So to make a normal double crochet, yarn over, and then insert your hook in that chain. The very next one, yarn over, pull it through that loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again. So that's a normal double crochet. So this is the stage we're going to repeat for row 1. We're going to make this in every single chain for this row. So next chain, a double crochet again, yarn over, insert your hook. In the next chain, yarn over, pull it through. Then 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Continue doing this, yarn over, go in the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you're just going to continue repeating this and work 1 double crochet in each chain. I will see you at the end of the chain here. Okay, I've got my stitches here. I've got 2 stitches left. There's 1. I'm working 1 last double crochet in the last stitch. Okay, now you need to make sure you still have an odd number of stitches, and the stitch number should be the same as your chain number. So I had 39 chains, I should have 39 stitches. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1 stitch. You already marked it. Okay, so after you finish this row, we're going to directly turn. The next row, we're going to make treble crochets with chain 1s, so we can create those spaces. You can use double crochets, but it's going to be shorter. The treble crochet I'm going to make is going to be a bit longer than double crochet. So remember how we made the first double crochet? It's essentially 2 single crochets stacked up together. So for the first stitch of treble crochet, I'm going to make 3 single crochets stacked up like that. So find your first stitch. That was the last stitch, now it's the first stitch. Insert your hook in the top 2 loops. So insert there. And you can see I'm inserting under 2 of them, 2 loops, and yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, the first single crochet, and then in the left vertical loop, insert my hook again, work a second single crochet, which is yarn over, pull it up, and yarn over, pull through 2. So 1, 2, I'm going to make a third one just to make it taller. Again, in the left vertical loop, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it up, just one loop, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to mark this stitch again. I'm going to place the marker in these 2 loops like that. Okay, so that's the first treble crochet. For this row, because we're going to create those spaces, I can't make stitches in every single stitch, otherwise it will look like this. So to create the space, we're going to chain 1 and skip the next stitch. And that's it. So chain 1, skip the next stitch. This is going to be a space instead of a stitch. So chain 1, skip the next stitch. In the very next stitch, I'm going to make a normal treble crochet. So to make a normal treble crochet, which is different from the first one, the first stitch is always made like this with single crochets stacked up. But to make a normal treble crochet, we're going to yarn over twice. So double crochet, yarn over once. Treble crochet, because it's taller, we yarn over twice. And then you're going to insert in that stitch, which is the third stitch. Insert in both loops like that. Also make sure this stitch doesn't turn like that. So make sure you have 1, 2, 3, and then insert in this stitch, yarn over, pull it up. You should have 4 loops on your hook. Then you're just gonna yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and keep doing that. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So now as you can see, we have a space here. Now we just continue doing this. So we're going to create another space, chain 1, skip 1, in this stitch, make a treble crochet. And to make a treble crochet, again, yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull it up, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Let's do it again, chain 1, skip 1, treble crochet in the next stitch, yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull it up, and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So you're going to continue repeating this pattern to the end of the row, and your last treble crochet should be worked in this marked stitch, which is the last stitch. Okay, so now as you can see, I've got 2 stitches left. I'm going to chain 1, skip the second last stitch, and then yarn over twice, work the last treble crochet in this marked stitch. Okay, so that's the first 2 rows. From here, we're just going to repeat these 2 rows. So that means you alternate between them. So the next row is going to be this one. So turn your work. We're going to repeat this row. We're going to start with a double crochet. And remember, the first one is different. So insert your hook in the very first stitch, under 2 loops, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, and then insert your hook in the left vertical loop, yarn over, pull it up, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now you can take out this stitch marker and place it in the new first stitch. Now, as you can see, the next stitch is a chain instead of a stitch like that. In the next stitch, we're going to work a double crochet, so yarn over, and whenever you see a chain, you're going to insert in the space instead of in the stitch like that. So you just insert in the space, yarn over, pull it up, and then finish this double crochet like that. And then the next stitch is a normal stitch again. You're going to make the double crochet normally. Just insert your hook in these two loops and make a double crochet. Next stitch is a space again, so yarn over, insert in the space, double crochet. Next stitch, normal stitch, insert like that, and double crochet. So the pattern is exactly like row 1. The only difference is we're working in stitches like this instead of just a chain. So we have a chain, we have a stitch, we have a chain, we have a stitch. In the chain, you insert here. In the stitch, you insert normally in 2 loops. So that's row 3. And then you're going to work this row again as row 4. And when you work row 4, it's going to be exactly like row 2 because again, we're working the row on a double crochet row. So row 4 is going to be worked in this double crochet row as well. Okay, so from here, you're just going to repeat these 2 rows and work your way up. I forgot to mention this. For row 3, you're going to work your double crochet all the way to the end. Your last stitch should be worked in this marked stitch. So under the 2 loops, work a double crochet, and then you turn your work and work this stitch again. So this is the first stitch, 3 single crochets stacked up together. So insert your hook directly, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then in the left vertical loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and do it one more time, left vertical loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So exactly like this one. If you forget how to do that, rewind the video to row 2. But I just want to remind you here, after that, take out this stitch marker and remark the new first stitch like that. And then you're just going to continue repeating those 2 rows and work your way up like that. So you're going to have a rectangle that is super long in this way because this is one sleeve. You're going to continue working like that across the shoulder all the way to the other sleeve. So this length is going to be really long. So I'm going to continue following this pattern and finish my rectangle, and I'll come back and show you how many rows I've done and more importantly what the measurement for that is. So basically this is how you would have a look at your length. You're going to put it on like this. So I did 91 rows and it looks like this when I put it on. Basically it can cover my hands like this. I folded it in half so it's easier to measure. So it measures about 31 inches. And this is half of it, so the whole length is 62 inches, which is 79 centimeters times 2, 158 centimeters. So when you feel like this reached the desired length for you, you're going to stop at a double crochet row, and after you finish the last stitch, we're going to fold this in half and sew it up like that. So we're gonna sew it up from this end all the way to the underarm, also from the other end as well to the underarm. So it might be easier if we do both of the sewing at the same time before you fasten either of them off. So what I mean is I'm gonna start sewing this up from this end, and when it's closer to my underarm, I'm gonna stop but not fasten off, because I might need to continue moving this further. Let me first show you how to sew the edges together. You're going to decide which side is the right side, which is the wrong side. So for me, I want this side to be the right side. So as you can see on this side, the double crochet row is prominent, but on this, it's the treble crochet. So this is gonna be my right side. This is also the side when you work your treble crochet row. You're gonna turn to this side. So next row is treble crochet and work like that. And this is the side that's facing me. This is gonna be my right side. So to sew up the seam, we're going to do it on the wrong side. If this is the right side, I'm gonna close it like this and do the sewing from the wrong side. So what I'm going to do here is work slip stitches, and for every double crochet row I'm going to work 2 slip stitches. For every treble crochet row I'm going to work 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the first stitch I'm going to insert in this corner here, and then insert in this corner on the other side as well. Yarn over, pull it up. So basically pull through all the things on your hook, but I'm gonna pull it through 1, 2 edge first. I'm also going to pull it through this loop like that. Okay, that's one stitch for this double crochet row. The second stitch I'm gonna work in there. I'm just gonna try to grab 2 loops, insert in there. Same thing on this edge as well. Just go in the loops on the edge, yarn over, pull it through, and then also pull it through the loop on the hook. That's the second slip stitch. So we just worked 2 slip stitches for this row. And like I said before, this is a treble crochet row. We're going to work 3 slip stitches. So the first one I'm going to insert in there, insert in the other edge as well. There. Yarn over, pull it up, and then slip stitch. Okay, and then 2 more stitches. I'm just gonna insert like that. Slip stitch. Okay, one last stitch for this treble crochet row. Insert in the edge, insert here. I'm still trying to pick up 2 loops. I'm not sure if it's 2 loops, but that's okay. So yarn over, pull it up, and slip stitch. Also, when you do the slip stitches, don't make them too tight, otherwise this is not going to be as stretchy. And then you're just gonna do it again. So 2 slip stitches for this row, 3 slip stitches for this. So together, that's 5 slip stitches. And then I'm just gonna repeat that. 2 slip stitches for this double crochet row, and then 3 slip stitches for this treble crochet row. So insert in there. The next one. 1. The second stitch for this row. Slip stitch. The first stitch here. Second stitch. And third stitch. So you're going to keep slip stitching like this until you're almost at your underarm, and then you're gonna leave it like this. You're not gonna fasten off because you might need to move it further. It depends on the other side of the sleeve as well. So you're kind of just like sewing them together from both ends at the same time, and as you move closer and closer to the underarm, you're going to put this on because you're going to leave an opening here, right in the middle. Okay, so now that you know how to stitch the edges together, I'm going to move this a bit further and get it closer to my underarm, and then I'll show you how to join the yarn from this end to get you started for the sewing on this end. So I did about 50 centimeters, which is 20 inches, and I'm gonna leave about another 20 inches and cut this yarn. You can leave longer if you want. And I'm not going to fasten this off first because I don't know if this is the point where I want to stop. So I'm just going to pull it up like that so it doesn't come undone. I'm going to start from the other end. So make sure you are sewing this end from the wrong side as well. So to attach the yarn, I'm going to make a slip knot. Insert in the corner stitch here, and the corner stitch on this edge as well, and put this loop on your hook. Pull it through and chain 1. Tighten it. And that is kind of like the first stitch for this double crochet row. So 2 stitches for a double crochet row, I need to work a second stitch. So I'm going to insert there in the stitch on the edge, and then a stitch there as well. So as you can see, I have 2 tails here. You can kind of work these in your stitches so you don't have to weave these in later. So I'm just going to put these 2 on my hook, yarn over, pull it up, and a slip stitch. So pull the first loop through the second one, slip stitch, and then 3 stitches for this treble crochet row, right? So the next stitch, I'm gonna do this a bit faster. On the other side, so to work these two in your stitches, I'm gonna put them under my hook. So it's kind of like you put it over for one stitch and then put it under for the next. So I'm going to put them under my hook and slip stitch, and the next stitch, the next stitch you put them over your hook, slip stitch, and then the next stitch under the hook, like that. And then you do the same thing as the other end, 2 slip stitches for this, 3 slip stitches for this. And continue working, stop here, make sure you line these up, and work the same row count for both sleeves. And then after that, you put this on. If you need the opening to be smaller, you're just gonna continue sewing the edges up like that. You might want to move in 2 rows every time before you try this on again until the opening here reaches your desired measurement. Okay, so for each sleeve, I sewed 32 rows together. This is row 32. It measures about 21 inches, which is 52 centimeters. After that, you're going to chain 1, cut this yarn, and pull it through. Do the same for the other side. And after that, don't forget to weave the yarn tails in the stitches in the seam on the wrong side. And then after that, turn this thing inside out, and then the shrug is done.